Good evening to all our viewers. Thank
Yeah.
you for being with us tonight, for tuning in to BCBP Mission Go Live, Episode 2. I am your host, KC Frayco. Yeah, so hello. Hello to all of you who are watching with us tonight on live and on replay. So here we are, another interesting topic discussion for tonight. And it's still about our BCBP, Be Honest Advocacy. If you did not catch our last episode, our advocacy in BCBP goes be honest, even if others are not, even if others will not, and even if others cannot. So tonight I have with me joining tonight's discussion three of our BCBP Alabang members, and later on they will be introducing themselves to you guys. So before we continue with that introduction, our mission here in BCBP is to bring Christ into the marketplace and win the marketplace for Christ. And so we do our best to live with by our BCBP honest advocacy to bring Christ into the marketplace. And one way for us to share that with you is through our stories tonight. So to start with the introductions, I will call on Howie. So introduce yourselves, guys, by mentioning your profession, your brief background, family background, and probably if you can share a little bit of your interests. Also, how did you know about BCBP? Take it away, Howie.
Okay. Good evening to all. My name is Howard Viernes. I am a teacher by profession. I recently got married last year, and I am a graduate of CLP 47. My other interests, I like mountain climbing. I like going to the beach, and my earliest recollection of being dishonest. Well, prior to being a teacher, I was a programmer, and really, it was very tough being a programmer back then. And to be honest with you, I wasn't entirely honest with it when I was a programmer. Okay, take away, Matt.
Thank you, Howie. Good evening, everyone. I'm Matt Domingo. It's nice to be here. I am an architectural designer, by profession. I have a small business, a team of architects and engineers, and a contractor. We work with contractors, and I we've been in the construction industry for a long time na. Siguro mga about 15 years na. 15 years. And baka narinig nyo na yung company namin, MNC. No? Pagka hindi pa, ibig sabihin, kulang pa kami sa marketing. Well, I've been a member of BCBP since 2007, I believe. Yeah, CLP 38. I'm from CLP 38. And I've been a member for 11 years now. And I'm married. The name of my wife is Pung. And as I said, I've been honest with her for 11 years now. And we have a son na ang pangalan niya si Uno. That's why I have this background here, because we have to prepare for the Father's Day on Saturday. So that's it. So a brief something that I can recall about this honesty. Siguro, when I
Your
was in high school.
recollection. Okay, high school.
When I was in high school, because tinatago ko, I was smoking, so I was hiding it from my parents and then I got caught kasi nung linilinis nila yung cabinet ko, sumabog yung bag ng collection ng mga hard packs ko. So, so that's it.
Very, very sneaky.
Yeah. Bechay, baka pwede mo dagdagan.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Maribeth Bailon Santiago. I like to be called Bechay. I'm married to the very handsome Chris Santiago, and we are blessed with two wonderful children, Sam and Indy. I own my business. It's called Coco Noche, and its main activity is to produce chocolates for events. And of course, we all know that events is one of the hardest hit in the pandemic. So I'm now kept busy taking care of my family by cooking all our meals, doing wifely and motherly duties, and loving it. I first heard of BCBP probably more than 10 years ago from a dear friend who's really more like a sister to me. I'm sure you all know her, Ate Louie Rodrigo. But it was only in 2018 that my husband and I gave into the call of our Lord to join CLP 48. Now, to answer the question, I'd be lying if I say I've never been dishonest because, of course, I have. Like, alam mo na, yung mga, even in my married life, mahirap before, this was before BCBP. Hindi akong gumimik. And, I like, staying out till late. And sometimes, siyempre, pag napapauwi ako ng late, Chris would ask me in the morning, anong oras ka umuwi? Binabawasan ko yung time. Like I say, I was home at 1, ganyan. Or binabawasan ko. And of course, hindi naman ako pinapagalitan. Kasi naman, syempre, at some point, he was dishonest to me rin, di ba? So, give and take lang. So there.
Grabe. Such a model wife. Such a model wife. No, but kidding aside, right? Ganun talaga. It starts off that way and then you learn how to kind of get along, diba? And find ways to you learn eventually. But tonight specifically, our topic, our theme is actually being open and honest through difficulties in life. When the going gets tough, when the going gets rough, when things seem to be all going downhill and all, 'di ba? Parang sometimes ma-force ka na to parang cover up some stuff, no? So um, and so we're gonna dive into that, and probably you guys can share with us your challenges and your learnings. No, but before that, we'd like to say hi to all of those again watching us tonight. Everyone
Hello.
from the BCBP Alabang chapter. Hi, Vida. Hello. And Papa John. Hello. Good evening.
Get well soon,
Our
John.
president for BCBP, PV Belay. Good evening. Thank you for watching again. Yes, go Machu. And Virgie Kais, am I saying that right? From BCBP QC North Chapter. Wow, thank you for watching.
Thank
And
you.
Hi, Oman. Oman's there. Hi, Oman.
Tita Cesar, good evening po. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. So we'll go on with our discussion for the night. I'm sure you guys have lots of experiences to share, no? When it comes to challenges and learnings in encountering, difficult situations, conversations, difficult people, right? So let's start off with the your professions, your businesses, what you do. So how you're a teacher, Matt, you're an architectural designer, and betcha you have your own business, right? So in different aspects or in different ways of your professional experience, was there ever a time when, or could you share a difficult situation or maybe conversation you got caught up in, and how did you deal with that? What did you do in terms of being honest? Maybe we can go with the betcha first.
Ako kasi, my work is really just at home. I make my own chocolates, and then if at all, it's really my health. I deal with a lot. Um, Challenges maybe with my clients kasi I deal with really young people like millennials, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's not really much, not really about being dishonest. It's sometimes yung feeling ko, siguro hindi ko mukhang yung matanda. I don't know why. Maybe I don't look my age, but sometimes I don't get that respect. Yung parang they're young, yung gusto nila, yung ganun, they won't hear me out, ganun. So, me being a supplier, okay, because remember, I do events, so I deal with wedding clients, right? So wala, I have customers sila eh. So, I really just have to agree with them. Kahit minsan, I, parang, parang masama sa loob ko to follow, ganun. But, I have no choice eh. Kasi, wedding nila yon, it's their event. So, yun. So, there's really not much I can do when it comes to my clients.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand. No, I mean with what you do, and especially they're younger pa than you. I can't imagine how that must feel like for you, right? So you know clients. I'm sure Matt might have something to share about that. Kasi you encounter different people when it comes to designing homes ba, buildings. What is it now?
Yeah, well, mostly homes, no. Then we also do commercial spaces. But to answer your question, most of the time, no, I get to deal with people. Kasi in a given project, we're about 3 or 4 teams that we work together. Sometimes yung mga ibang team are not from our group, di ba? And
Mm-hmm.
when the project is ongoing, syempre, you have to do your report. And when you do your report, you have to give it to your client. You have to be honest. You have to put everything there. Sometimes, nagkakaroon ng parang, oh, pare, wag mo naman ako i-report doon sa client. We will repair this part, di ba? We will repair this part of the house. Just don't tell the client. Sometimes we kumbaga pinapayagan namin when it's not a critical part of the house or the structure. But those are the things that we encounter every day in a given project. And most of the times naman, if we report it, bigay namin diretso sa client yung report, the other team will see it na, o baka parang kinakalaban tayo nito parang ganoon. So, ganun yung culture doon sa I mean, sa experience ko, ganun yung na-experience namin culture with with that kind of work environment, no. And
Yeah.
sometimes you really have to paano ba yon? Kailangan mo makisama. That's the word that we usually use, di ba? Kailangan natin makisama muna kasi bagong salta ka sa project, yung mga ganyang bagay. But there are things that hindi mo talaga pwedeng patakasin. And the sad thing lang is when you report it, ikaw yung nagmumukhang kontrabida.
Yeah, yeah. Diba? Diba? Oh, kaya mahirap talaga maging honest eh.
Yeah, mahirap talaga. Mahirap.
Siyempre
Kasi
gusto
alam
mo
mo na, may naalala na ako. I remember I had a corporate project. There was somebody parang nagmi-middleman siya to get parang coordinate planner siya, corporate planner siya.
Okay.
And then sabi niya, pwede dagdagan natin ng presyo. Yung ipapad yung presyo ng giveaway. Sabi ko, so sorry, I don't do that. Parang, kasi
Yeah.
I say na lang that, my prices are published, it's in social media, so, cannot go more than this. Ganun. Tama.
Ganyan din sa amin, Betcha. We experienced that also, yung nagpapad ng price. That's why most of what we do, if it's not under us, we put it as a client supplied or owner supplied item para they can talk directly to the client. How
Curious to
about you,
hear about
Howie?
our teacher.
Yeah, well,
Happy.
I'm very happy with my work because it's a whole teaching. The field of education is way different from other professions like if I'm happy that, or my institution where I teach, they provide formation not just for students but for us teachers as well, and they really guide us. And I really see how it's not only when I started teaching that I saw the value of really yung formation of the kids, of being honest, of being true. When we work with each other, my fellow co-teachers, there's really an air of honesty. Like there's really we can trust each other that he or she will do this task, and whenever there's a problem, really they're gonna tell us na no na hey can I need some help on this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's why it never is a boring day for me to teach. The challenge is it's on the kids. Sometimes they're not yet truly formed. So the concept of being honest, or really, trying to discern what is true or not true, that's something that it's is challenging.
Yeah, yeah.
And minsan nakakatawa nga eh. Like when you talk to one kid who was involved in a certain situation and you talk to the other kid who was also involved, um, the truth is something that we have to discern which who is telling the truth, who is just covering up, because the kids
Yeah.
they're automatic na natatakot sila na na to face the truth, to be honest eh. And it's something we try to encourage in them, uh, and hopefully they get the value of being honest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure ang hirap nun, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Lalo na alam mo naman na kids, they don't in the beginning, 'di ba, they don't really intentionally lie until you put in their heads na, "Oh, you're lying," 'di ba?
Mhm.
Pero
Mhm.
more of natatakot sila to be shamed or pagalitan, 'di ba? It's more of the fear, I think, right? So,
Yeah.
but interesting yun, Howie, ah. How so paano I'm just curious ako I'm a parent myself. Okay? So
Yeah.
pero how does that now how do you now practice I mean how do you show them or when you have a conversation with the kids like you said he said she said kind of conversation hirap nun to make them parang how do you what process do you go through.
Well, indeed, that it's very hard because kids, we handle young kids, their comprehension is limited. So sometimes, when they see something, it's the kind of word that they use. Sometimes it can be exaggerated. Sometimes it's not exaggerated. They don't know yet to find that balance of really saying properly. So what do we do? Well, we actually keep talking to them, trying to have them really express themselves as best as they can. Sometimes I know one professional educator. She tries to, or she encourages the students to write down or to draw the situation, and from
Mm,
there, the kids are easily more able to explain what really happened.
mm. Pwede
Yeah,
pala
and
yun,
sometimes,
no?
there's also some people who we call mentors. They can confide in them what they really truly feel, and how they really reacted to a certain situation or what they really said. Because sometimes they might be afraid to tell it to one specific person in school, but to
Mm.
another person in school, much easier, much comfortable for them to say it.
So may mediator.
Yeah,
Kailangan may mediator, no?
yeah.
Okay. All right. And kanina, Matt, you said something about reporting, not saying. Yung parang not naman, um, it's more of partially saying the truth, right? So, what do you think about that? Okay ba yun? Is that acceptable?
Which one? I mean, parang
Partially saying the truth.
okay. Of course, in our line, we cannot we cannot partially say the truth. Kailangan we have to report it 100%, no? Or else pag kami kumuha, halimbawa if an engineer will pick up our report and he discovers na, oh, bakit wala tong part nito? Bakit hindi niyo report to? 'Di ba? So, I mean, the process flow of ng whole work will suffer. So it's not acceptable for us to use a partial truth, especially when it comes to reporting dun sa work o dun sa ginagawa namin. Pero, nagkakaroon ng ganyan, hindi mo maiwasan eh. Nagkakaroon ng ganyan, yun na nga yung sinasabi ko kanina, pagdating dun sa samahan. Sa ano, dun sa, I mean, when you report, i-report mo na tapos na or they were able to do it on time. Pero in fact, hindi pa pala nila nagawa. They even rectified it, yung mga ganung bagay. It doesn't, that part doesn't come out anymore dun sa report. Basta as long as when you submit the report, everything is done. Ang maganda naman doon, they're gonna make sure that they rectify everything. No, na walang mali. Lahat ng mali, kailangan nilang palitan. So, ganun naman yung nangyayari.
So, parang choosing the lesser evil, kumbaga, di ba?
Well, yeah. Definitely, ganun na nga nangyayari because or else, either you will really have conflicts will be there. Especially if, di ba? Kasi in a work environment, di ba, laging I have my own version of the truth and you have your own version of the truth. So hindi matatapos yung conflict and discussion na ganyan. So sometimes nagkakaroon ng hindi naman sacrifice, nagkakaroon ng may nagme-mediate or may nag-aayos para hindi mag-suffer yung project and makapag-move forward. So I guess at that part yung katotohanan ang tinatamaan, di ba? What really happens is, di ba, yung partial truth ang ginagamit para the project can move forward.
How about in relationships? In situations in relationships that applies, yung partially saying the truth, choosing the lesser evil. Bechay, I see you nodding, ah.
Ready na si Bechay.
Ayan na. Yan nga sinasabi ko, Bechay.
Back up muna tayo. Back up.
No, you know what? What's this? The question is dishonesty as the lesser evil, right?
Yes.
Well, it depends. Like, for example, especially when it's about relationships. Okay. My daughter's here listening. Anyway, so, example, may problema sa mag-asawa. Okay. Siyempre, like, especially our kids are grown-ups. They're like, my daughter's 33, my son's 20, 29. So they're grown-ups already. So, siyempre, when they can sense there is something wrong, they'll ask us. Kasi, matatanda na sila eh. But because our two kids are very different characters, my daughter's very strong-willed, malakas ang dating type, no? My son is more the makamami, he's the type na mom, he's very defensive about when it comes to me. So there are things I will tell my son, and there are things I would rather not tell my daughter, for fear that it might affect her outlook about relationships, especially that, hanggang ngayon, they're still with us, So I'm very, very careful, especially when it comes to matters about me and their dad. So there are just things na I would rather keep to ourselves. And plus, para rin hindi sila affected. Kasi, syempre, I would like them to always look up to their dad, di ba? So, kung ano yung problema, it's just between me and their dad. There. Ikaw,
Yeah.
Howie, alam ko, you're newly married, di ba? Okay. Ako, may tatanong lang ako sa inyo. Saan yung dalawa, actually, Matt and Howie? Kayo ba? Let's say, I'm not saying may magkakaproblema, but in case ba magkaproblema kayo with your respective spouses, and tanungin kayo, will you be honest to them 100% or you will hide some of the truth? Because that's very, very curious. I want to know. Kasi I had an experience, okay, and was this it reached the point when I was galit, okay. I was close to being physical, but then I stopped because I wanted room for my husband to feel sorry. So, kayo ba, when you're asked, will you tell the whole truth or that you'd rather not? I just want to know the male point of view.
Choppy, hindi ko marinig. Yeah, malalagod ako sa misis ko mamaya. No. Matt, ikaw ba muna?
Ikaw muna, Howie, ikaw muna.
Okay. Well, the first time, hi to Carla muna. Hi to my wife. Well,
Yeah.
the first time, when I asked Carla to be my girlfriend, I really promised myself I will be honest to her in any kind of situation. Now, ayoko nga ibigay yung details eh. Pero I was challenged to tell her something or not to tell her something.
Mm-hmm.
I chose to tell her. And really, what I realized from that moment was that even though, I know she's gonna ask me later down kung ano yun. But even though I told her the truth, it's better. It's better. Like, you take the heat na right away rather than prolong it. So, be honest. Yun lang talaga na when I
Iba yun,
really
like details, even if you know you're going to hurt her, you still tell her.
Alam ko naman kasi na I know I will never hurt her yung yung mga ginagawa ng mga ano ba. Kasi yung mga narinig yung mga ibang kwento ng mga ibang it's not in me, and I really credit with good parenting that I was raised to value honesty. And if you really teach your kids to value honesty, talagang, or set an example of being an honest person, hopefully susundan nila. Ayun.
Galing galing Howie. Well, ako naman, siguro Bechay, ang masasabi ko, I don't like kasing confrontation. Ayoko yung gano'n. Pag kami diskusyon kami ni Boom, yung wife ko, ako na agad yung lumalayo. So, ang ginagawa ko, instead na magkaroon ako ng opportunity na mag-lie or maging dishonest, magpapakabait na lang ako. Di ba? I mean, ako na yung umiiwas mismo dun sa mga settings, environment, occasion that I might do something that will that I have to lie or be dishonest sa kanya. But of course, actually katabi ko siya ngayon, there's still instances na I am dishonest, especially when I go out with my friends, di ba? I'm just gonna say, no, I have a meeting, no? But in fact, after yung meeting namin na yon, mauuwi na sa inuman yun. But very healthy na inuman lang naman. Because on the side naman of my, ang difference naman sa akin at saka kay Boom, kasi si Boom talaga, she really wants to stay at home, dyan lang siya. Ako, I like being with my friends. So I like to go out. So doon kami laging nagkakaroon ng dispute or discussion. So pag alis ako ng umaga, she's gonna ask me, oh, where are you going? Oh, I have a meeting. In fact, I do naman, di ba? After that meeting, mauuwi na lang sa inuman. I mean, then after, uwi na rin ako.
Satisfied, Bechay? Did that answer your question?
Yeah, but you know what? For me, if it's going to hurt your wife, don't na lang, and be sorry na lang. You know what I mean? Parang rather than hurting her, diba? So parang be sorry na lang. At least you realize the wrong thing that you did and not do it again. Parang don't let your wife push you to tell more lies, diba? So parang ako, don't na lang repeat whatever na ginawa mong kasalanan. But yun, so ako kasi I would rather not get details kasi I know there are a lot of women, they like details talaga. Oh, with yan, so ako, I don't like asking those details, especially if I know masasaktan lang ako. So yun, pag mahal mo, sabi nila pag mahal mo yung tao, gano'n, you give it space pa rin, di ba? Na para give it the benefit of the doubt. So yun.
I agree with you, Bechay, no? So I hope Boom is listening.
May naalala pala ako. story. Oh my gosh.
Go, Howie. Are you willing to
Yun,
share?
yun nga, like it was the day that I asked permission from the parents of Carla that I was going to propose to her. So actually,
Hmm.
naging successful naman yon na nung nagpaalam ako sa kanila. Prior to that, I met Jeff Tagle. I bumped into Jeff Tagle sa church. Tapos pinulong ka kay Jeff. Jeff, magpapaalam na ako sa parents ni Carla. So he congratulated me. So yun nga.
Uh-huh.
So I brought Carla to her place. I went, I heard to her parents' place. Nagpaalam ako. Okay naman, approve. Tapos when I got back here to her place, my phone was in a lot of incoming messages were coming in, and I could not stop smiling. So si Carla, she asked me, ano yan? Wala, messages from friends, yun lang. Tapos after a few minutes, talaga nakangiti pa rin ako. Sabi niya, you know what? It's either you're talking about me or it's a green joke. So tingin ako sa kanya. Siyempre, ang sabi ko, it's a green joke. So I lied.
Oh, so tama nga si Bechay.
Diba? Wala.
Okay yung mga situations that you shared, no? Kasi that's very real. It's not always the right thing to be completely detailed, honest, 'di ba? But but there are times and situations where you need to own up to it, whatever that wrong thing that you decide to do, 'di ba? So
Yeah.
that's very grabe, guys. Sobrang interesting naman ang juicy ng mga kwento na yan. So we're getting some comments over here about so hi Dennis, good evening. Tito Bobby saying good sharing of actual experiences and
Ayoko,
Venus.
Tita Bets! Ayoko na, Tita Bets! Wait. We're honesty, right? Honesty. Can I say something?
Yes, go.
Ag- no, you know what? Ganito na lang. I know the members are having a hard time. Like, tita ba ako? Ate ba ako? Or what? Okay. Ito na lang yung guide. Okay. This is the guide. If you are, 33 years old and below, call me tita. Okay? Okay. If you are 40 and above, call me ate. Okay? If you are 34 and to 39, call me like this.
Ayan na, alam niyo na, guys.
I'm being honest.
Sorry. Hi, Carlos Cole. Thank you. Yes, timely and appropriate topic. Oo, Ate Chu, I found my next co-host. Right here.
Hindi,
Ano?
kasi, alam mo, may kukwento ko eh.
Go.
May kwento ko. Di ba? I heard kasi Howie kanina say about the kids disciplining them and all. Okay. This thing. When my kids were little, this is how I discipline them. Okay. I look straight at them in their eyes and I say, you only have 3 jobs. Okay? Be obedient, be honest, do not tell, syempre hindi pa nila alam yung be honest, di ba? Do not tell a lie, and study hard. So you'd see them talagang, looking like that at me. Okay? And then, so later on, syempre when they grew up na, I shared this already in breakfast there. And about in 2008, Chris and I had a major financial problem. We went into a crisis for, I think, 5 years. Okay? And, syempre, tinuro mo sa mga anak mo, di ba, na maging honest kayo, ganyan. So, syempre, because they were used to the kind of life, not naman extravagant, but we enjoyed the luxuries in life. Like traveled, we ate in the best restaurants, ganyan. And then all of a sudden, bam, wala, diba? Everything had to change. So, syempre, tinanong kami. I found it difficult to admit to them that, my husband and I messed up. Parang, ang hirap aminin sa mga anak, okay? Na your dad and I messed up and we don't have money, we're poor, okay? We're hard up. So at the time, my son was still going to school, So, ang hirap. In fact, another thing, we took up a loan in the bank, okay? And it reached a point, okay, na 1 year, we were not able to pay, even interest, okay? I always say, di ba pag may problema ka, you tend to become reclusive. Kasi syempre, especially because of social media, baka mauubusan tayo ng oras, hindi naman siguro.
Okay pa. Go. I like
Anyway, so syempre I was very careful. Alam mo naman yung tayo, we nagpo-post tayo sa social media, where we go, where we eat, when we travel, blah blah blah. Syempre all of those have to stop, right? And I'm blessed to have very good friends, and and one of them is yung ninang mo, Howie, si Ate Louie, okay? She played a major role in terms of spiritual. At the time, Chris and I were going through financial. And then I had another friend who is more like a sister to me, a cousin-in-law. And she said this to me, Bechay, tandaan mo, pag ang problema mo involves a person, okay, may solusyon yan, napapakiusapan yan. Okay. So anyway, going back to the loan that we had in the bank, okay, naka-mortgage yung bahay namin, and then we were unable to pay for a year, okay? And then, so syempre, halos araw-araw tumatawag yung bangko trying to collect from us, anong gagawin namin, and we're like ignoring the calls. And then alala ko yung kwento ng my cousin-in-law, na tao yan, napapakiusapan yan. So one day, I called up the account officer, and then I laid my cards. I said, this is our situation. My husband's out of job. I have 2 kids who are going to school. We are only surviving on my income, my chocolates. I have no money. I have no money to pay, even interest. Okay? You know what? So, dalawa na yun, ha? I was being honest to 2 people. I'm sorry, 3 people already. The friend, the cousin-in-law, who advised me na, because I told her the truth na I'm poor. And then si Ate Louie, so, Bechay, ganyan, kaya mo yan, ganyan. Anyway, so, and then the third one was this bank account officer. You know what she said? Sige, ma'am, give me maybe a week. I'm going to present this to the board, and then I will tell them your situation. You know what? After a week, tinawagan ako. Okay, I will not forget this. And this one, I would like all of you to really pay attention to this. Alam mo ba, she came back to me after a week. Yung binabayaran namin for one year. No, 1 year na hindi namin nabayaran. Okay? Example, 20,000. Example lang, 20,000 per month. Example, interest. This is just a figure, ha? Times 12. Okay. So that's 240,000, right? Tama ba? Okay. Do you know that from 20,000, basta binaba niya that we had to pay na lang per month 15%. Okay? 15%. So from 20,000, it went down to how much? 3,000? Something like that. Okay? And so, syempre, ginawan ko ng paraan. I said, wow, alam mo yon, and we were close to giving up already. Okay? And parang, imagine, and that's all only because I was very honest with her. I told her, I don't have money. We only are surviving on chocolates. So, I don't help me. Yun. So, this is one instance that I will say, you know, by being honest, it got me out of trouble. That it got me out of a very difficult situation.
Yeah.
So there. So that's that's one experience that I will never ever forget, and I will forever be grateful to that bank officer. Yun.
Galing. Galing.
Yeah. I guess
Yeah.
that's really what I mentioned a while ago. Being honest, like you get the heat once. If you keep on lying, parang tuloy-tuloy na parang nasusunog ka sa situation eh. So
Tapos
better be
lalo
honest.
Para bang you'll be rotting inside, di ba?
Yeah.
And you'll be stuck in that kind of situation with that person. Ang tagal, ang hirap i-repair, di ba?
Yeah.
Ang hirap.
Yeah.
That's
So
good,
yun.
Betty.
And so by being honest also, you realize yung totoong kaibigan mo, especially if it's about financial, no? Yung totoong kaibigan mo will be there for you. Yung mga hindi talaga totoo, yun ang mga wawala talaga. So, it really always pays to be truthful, to yourself, di ba? Especially, first of all, to yourself.
Yeah.
Yun. So, yeah.
So how do you guys through discerning um, when you need to be honest and open in especially in difficult situations, but what's your discernment process? When do you say a partial truth? When do you say in detail? When do you become comfortable opening up to a stranger in a bank and say, I'm poor right now, right? Like what Bechay did, which was very, very brave. And thank you for sharing that, Bechay. Um, anybody who wants to share your discernment process? What do you go through?
Ako na lang. You know what? I'm a very open person. You know what? Give me 10 minutes nga, you'll know my life. And not really. I'm very makwento, and I really don't mind sharing my experiences, most especially if I know makakatulong ako.
Yeah.
So yun, so discern if, like I said, if I know it's going to get me out of trouble, then I'll tell the truth. Yun. That's how I discern. Of course, with a lot of prayers. But yeah, that's how I'm going to decide if I will tell the truth or not. If by telling the truth, I will be in a better situation later, then yeah, I'll tell the truth. Kasi by lying will just complicate things. It will temporarily solve a problem, but eventually a lie you'll have to say another lie, right? So
Yeah.
yun. So what for?
Ako siguro, I also agree with you, Betcha, no? But siguro for me, Casey, I always look at kumbaga, the future or yung foresight of that problem being being used to a construction site or, in engineering, parang you have to look at it sa future, eh, no? Kung hindi mo aayusin ngayon, it will be much worse weeks from now, di ba? So rather that it becomes bigger, ayusin mo na ngayon. If you need to be honest sa like what Bechay said, no? If you need to say all the details, and then say all the details, di ba? But yeah, I think for me, lagi kong tinitingnan yung end result, yung future. Sometimes if you think that it's you can repair it in a short time, then maybe that's the time that you use half of the truth, diba? But if it becomes critical in the future, like foresight of it, parang you really have to kailangan mo nang ilabas sa start pa lang, you really have to fix it.
Yeah. For me, like I mentioned a while ago, that prior to being a teacher, I was a programmer, and I was I wasn't very much being honest when I was in that line of work because there were deadlines to meet, and I was stretching the truth that I was able to meet the deadlines, and my discernment there was when I realized, lying gets you nowhere. And that's why uh, honesty for me is a way better avenue for resolving things than really stretching the truth that you can do this, that you can meet this deadline, and yung to yourself. First of all, na mention ng Bechay, you're first lying to yourself,
Yeah.
then to others.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now we want to say hi to everybody else here watching. They're picking up so much from you guys, from your sharings. Hi, Tito Frank.
Frank, hi Frank! Frank!
This is a funny comment, Tito Bobby. The problem of women is asking too many questions, asking too many details. That made me really meant to lie. So that was a good tip talaga, Betchay. Okay, so here we have a reaction and a question. So loving this topic, so relatable, but curious to ask, how has being in a community influenced you in living an honest life? Maybe Howie.
Oh well, actually, when I read the question, the first thing that came to my mind is, how honest am I with my relationship to God? Yun
Mm-hmm.
eh. Um, the school that I teach, it's been encouraging us to be honest. But when I came to BCBP, it's really how I'm honest with God. And yun lang. Sabi ko doon.
So you answer to God kasi that's your no, that's your reflection through it.
Yung honesty ko, like my relationship with God. How honest is my relationship with God? Like, uh, is it really something that's genuine or not? Or, halfway there? Or really meeting God in completely being honest with your who you are, how vulnerable, how willing you are to accept Him in your life. And really, one thing I really credit BCBP Alabang is really, it gave me new life. Uh, because before, when I was I'd never heard of BCBP before until Michelle Gana mentioned it to me. Kasi
Mm-hmm.
alam ko lang yung mga couples for Christ, singles for Christ. That's it. I've never heard of BCBP, and you know, in that community, uh, being who you are, um, it frees you. It frees you. Uh, you don't have to act in a certain way. Well, of course, you have to. Well, syempre, you have to be cautious and
Yeah.
civil with one another. Pero yung how can I say this properly? Yung you're not pretending to be somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. True colors. How about you, Matt?
I guess parang parehas din kami, like being ni Howie, being in the community, you get to see other facets of yung mga pinagdadaanan ng mga tao. And sometimes you see yourself dun sa pinagdadaanan nila, or tapos ka na dun pero ang galing ng ginawa nila, no? So it's nice to be around with people who are going through things that, halos pinagdaanan niyo or pinagdadaanan mo pa rin. Because really, to be honest with especially with your spouse, no? Madali. I mean, 'di ba? It's so clear na kailangan sabihin mo ang totoo or hindi. Kung hindi, pag nalaman niya, lagot ka, 'di ba? Ganun yung ano natin eh. Pero in real life, it's hard. It's hard to do it, 'di ba? Sometimes may mga compromise tayo. I guess yun yung sinasabi ni Bechay din kanina. There are compromise na we need to parang limit the details that we have to say in order not to hurt yung ating spouse, or baka naman hindi niya kailangan yung detail na yon, as long as you are remorseful of what you did, di ba? Parang ganon. But within a community, you get to learn. Ganun pala yung pagsabi niya doon, magaya ko nga. And sometimes it works. And especially in a in a relationship let's say you are very apologetic already of what you did, pero ma-pride pa rin yung partner mo. It's also nice that your partner sees other examples also na, oh, hindi ko naman pala kailangan, I mean, pwede ko pang ibaba yung pride ko pala, pwede kong gayahin si Bechay, parang gano'n. So, so it's nice. I mean, being around with people who are going through the same things that you are, it helps a lot, no? In dealing, especially mga ganitong bagay. So how about you,
Thank you.
Bechay?
About the same, it's so much easier that that Chris and I are both in community. Parang we check and balance always, and then plus we're serving pa, and we're like now we have how many people under us in the action group, so parang we feel that responsibility over them, diba? So we live by example. So that's our advocacy, be honest, right? So it's so much easier to be honest. Actually, it's so much easier to be honest than to tell a lie, right? It's like, diba, mas madaling ngumiti than sumimangot, right? So let's choose the better one, the good one. They will just being honest. So yeah, there's a check and balance being in a community.
True, that's also true. And we're down to ending the show soon, and I super still want to have this conversation with you guys. But before we say goodbye to the rest, do you have any last thought that you want to share with all our viewers, the ones watching us live now and the ones who will be watching on replay? Any final thoughts? We've talked about difficulties in the business, in the workplace, in relationships, and how community has helped you through it. So, any final thoughts, you guys? Maybe, Bechay, you want to start?
Who first?
You, Bechay.
Ako, me first. Sorry. Okay, ako naman, there's just this food for thought I want to leave our viewers. It is better to remain honest and truthful in the face of difficulty. To me, this speaks of the challenge we face when the going gets tough, right? What will we do? What should we do? Like think of the little difficulties you experienced, like yesterday or last week. Now, if you don't recall lying about any, or you probably have taken this quote to heart. Okay, so what would you have done differently? What would the consequences would have been? So that's the question we must ask ourselves each day in each difficult situation. Like, what will being honest and truthful cost us? But we must also ask ourselves, what will being dishonest and untruthful cost us, as well as what it will cost others. Our consequences, after all, our actions, after all, do have consequences. Having said that, I would like to leave you with these questions. What do you intend to do the next time you're faced with a difficult situation? How will you build your resolve and how to be able to do better each time? That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Bechay. And Howie, any
Oh,
final thoughts?
well, final thoughts. I realize in the 43 years of living on this earth that, well, that when you lie, it puts a weight on you. And it's something that you have to carry, drag, and really just, have along with you. But when you're honest, it frees you from all that weight. And I just, really like to encourage anybody who are having any difficulties in life to be honest. Because like what Bechay shared, okay, it frees you, like in that banking situation. It really will provide you with an answer that you will least expect. And one final word, Shout out to my nephew Abe and my niece Via.
Mga biggest fans.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Howie.
All right, my turn. Siguro, well, first of all, I think we really have to understand that, the honesty process of a person. No, I mean, if you're not used to being honest, it's a process, di ba? We go through it, di ba? We improve, di ba? Hindi naman agad-agad yan we learn. Like tonight, marami ako natutunan from Howie and Betchay. So I can use that to improve my being, how should I call it? My state of honesty, especially with my wife and my relationship with my wife. No? But as a takeaway for what I can say siguro, you should start with the right. I mean, do it right in the first step pa lang. Kung kailangan mong you have to lay out all your cards, di bali nang you don't have to pretend to be anyone. You don't have to hide anything. It's much easier in the long run. Eh. You're not trying to hide anything anymore, di ba? Then, I mean, if they don't want you, they don't like you, then that's okay, di ba? At least it's done, di ba? And then if you think being honest is difficult, try living a life na tuloy-tuloy that you've been lying, lie after lie after lie. Believe me, mas mahirap yung buhay na yun.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for me.
All right. Thank you guys. Very, very fruitful discussion. A lot of learnings tonight. And thank you for being open and honest to us and throughout this discussion. And to sum up all that you have shared tonight, I hear that it is key to, in any difficulty in life, to speak truthfully and honestly rather than being dishonest, as it will cost you your worries, your burden, your stress, right? And also maybe conflicts with other people is more difficult to handle if you're not being honest. Um, and if it will take you to lay out your cards just to make things right, very nicely said, no, Matt, the first time. You just go through that process and learn. And so we leave that with you guys tonight. And thank you again for watching live and on replay. We'll also see you again. That's it for our show. Be honest with KC. Go mission, go live, go live.
Woohoo! Wow, buhay pa tayo, Howie.
Thank you guys for saying yes to this and for being very, very candid and honest. That was really awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome, Case.
Congratulations.
Anytime.
Takot ako kay ano eh. Takot ako kay Lord eh. Baka, di ba, hindi pwedeng mag-no dito eh.
Especially Matt at the very last minute. Thank you, ah. Thank
No
you.
problem. No problem. I hope hindi nasira yung show nyo.
Hindi, no, diba? Bechay, didn't know that you went through that pala. I think I missed your breakfast sharing before.
Yeah, I did! Big time! Big time!
I
And
can
that,
imagine.
di ba, nowadays, especially nung nagkaroon ng pandemic, a lot of people are going through that kind of situation ngayon. Ha? I mean, I am, we are. Di ba? Hirap yan. It's good that we
Yeah.
share.
Yeah.
I know, if you imagine, a lot of people are going through that now, right? The financial struggles and, diba,
Yeah.
parang having to be, actually, parang ang ano eh, having to be honest about what you're going through right now, your difficulties, is much easier because of the whole global situation, right? But I don't know.
Very
Maybe some,
important also, that you have good friends. Yan.
yeah.
For me, that's
Community.
when you're going through something, whether financial or marital or whatever, it's family's family, diba? But it also pays to have good friends. So